Good morning. We're here in Indian Lake Estates and we're going to take a look at some fine points on the Flex Shooter Pro. So folks are saying, well, when I'm doing flight I can only point here or here. I can't point down enough. I can't point up enough. And I'm going like, well, there goes a Nighthawk. When you're doing flight, you don't want to be pointing the lens up 45 degrees. But if you're working a bird's nest, say high in a tree, an eagle nest, and you're going to be doing some stills, then I would say it's a simple matter. I keep the big notch. We'll get a better look at that a little further on in the video. I keep the big notch at the rear. So it's a simple matter of tightening the silver bullet knob, loosening the silver ball, and then putting the stem of the small blackhead into the notch. And you can point the lens up as high or as low as you need. If I'm in the car and I need to point it down, then I'll swing it around so the notch is in the front, and then I can point down. So that's the first simple matter. Next, we're going to take a look at putting a short lens on the Flex Shooter Pro head. So we take the 600, get it safely on the ground, grab my Nikon 24-120 with the Wimberley P5 plate, and lens direction is still going to be here. But instead of the plate going the long way in the jaw, it's going to go crosswise. Always want to make sure to have the jaws loosened all the way. Make sure that, there are stop studs on this, which you don't really need for the Flex Shooter Pro. But if you do have them, then you want to loosen it all the way and just insert it in the jaws, pretty much centered. Tighten the clamp. And it's pretty obvious that no matter what you do here, a short lens is going to be slightly front heavy. There's no way to get any balance in the back, any weight in the back. But once you've leveled the silver ball, as we've done with the big knob, then it's simply a matter, if you're doing scenics, of adjusting the tension. And better than any head I've ever seen, once you have the tension adjusted properly, you can frame either through the viewfinder or in live view, and then lock it down with zero bald head creep. So balance, the shorter the lens, the less balance is an issue. Next, we're going to take this off, and we'll be doing the macro lens in a bit. But we're going to take a look at the top of my head, and we're going to take a look at the Sony 100-400. All the short zooms are the same as far as balance. So we are going to, again, carefully put the plate into the clamp. We're going to visually check to see that the jaws have everything. And here we're at 400, zoomed out to 400. You see that the Sony zoom, this one, gets longer as you zoom in tight, and as you go wider it gets shorter. So it's going to be slightly different balance. At 400, this is a Wimberley P10 plate mounted in reverse with the flanges in the front. I did that with my Canon 100-400. You may have to finagle the plate, try a different plate. If you have lenses with camera bodies with the grips on them. Our neighbor got a rooster in case we wanted to sleep late. That won't be happening anymore. And you see at 400 it balances beautifully. And even if we zoom back to 100, it's still balancing just fine. So again, that principle, shut up rooster. Again, the principle that with the shorter telephotos, or a 70-200 or a macro lens, balance is nowhere near the issue that it is with the big telephotos. And speaking of the big telephotos, we got the plates for the Nikon 600. I have to have Jim turn mine out today. So that takes care of the short lenses, short telephotos, telephoto zooms, balance not a big issue. And lastly, we're going to shut the camera off before changing lenses. Remove the 24 to 120. Grab the Sigma Macro 150, which unfortunately is not in production anymore. And we're going to mount the lens again, telephoto, short macro, medium macro, pointed in lens direction, again a P20 plate. And again, we'll see that balance, a little bit back heavy here, so we can come forward. But balance, not a huge issue. It might be better here. That's pretty good. It might be better to reverse the plate, as I did with the Sony 100 to 400, where you put the flanges in the front, giving you more room behind if you're a little back heavy. But the super trick that I developed with macro, when I wanted to point the lens down more than I could, actually, yeah, it's going down pretty good here. But what I came up with was a great solution for macro, where I loosened everything and put the big notch. You can see the big notch there. I put the big notch on the right, and I flopped the lens down like this, so that the stem of the ball is in the notch. And then I go like this, and my only two adjustments are using the black lever and the image rotation to frame it. So I can go like this on my flower. Once I'm level, I use the in-camera level to check for level, and then simply tighten with no ball head creep, and I'm good to go. So right now we have a couple of Flex Shooters Pros in stock. We're pretty much almost finished with our third 20. And for now, we're the only place in North America to purchase your Flex Shooter head, so we hope you come visit. We have all the big feet, and hope to see you on an IPT soon. We're going to Bosque this year, and I'll be announcing the Fall Fort DeSoto IPT, and we'll be in San Diego in January as usual. Have fun and make some good pictures, and thank you, Jim.